9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
How's our girl?
She's ready.
You're gonna be the first person to transition from a human body to a synthetic.
Because I'm special.
That's right. You're very, very special.
We have a downed spacecraft.
I want what's on that ship.
We can do it. We're fast. We're strong. We don't break.
It's like a zoo, but the animals got out.
This ship collected 5 different life forms from the darkest corners of the universe. Monsters.
Invasive species. Predatory.
If we don't lock them down, it will be too late.
Yo, what is up, people? What is going on? We are back with another episode of Alien Earth. It's episode 4. It's called Observation. Got the usual suspects in the house, Mr. Danny Graham, Mr. Brian the Grizzly. What's up, guys? How you doing?
What's up?
Looking good.
Danny, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
You can find me on my channel Mondays and Fridays, The Road to Wisdom. Also, you can find me tomorrow, since it's my birthday. I'm going to be uploading a lot tomorrow for on the my other channel, which is The Way I See It. And of course, you can find me on those channels sometimes, OOC, Chaos Central, and The Road to Wisdom. And Storms Live. So I'm a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit everywhere.
I was kind of hoping you didn't say that because I wanted to surprise you and send you a happy birthday text and be like, oh, this guy remembered when my birthday was, you know? But you kind of blew the spot out now. Ryan, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
Yo, 1/3 of Spoiler Kings. We're live Mondays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and I'm here with Nzo. We do something. We've been doing things Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we got this new show coming out. It's gonna be the Rewind coming on Saturday. You gotta join us. Gotta check it out. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We got some good topics and we'll have some fun, man. So join us.
So absolutely.
What time that gonna be?
10 o'clock.
10 for you.
10 o'clock at night.
No,
Eastern,
in the morning.
Morning.
Oh.
10 in the morning and 9 Eastern for Central.
Now, we're going to try and do a morning show, you know what I mean? See if how that works out on a Saturday, talk about all of the things that happen during the week in pop culture.
One subscriber, you talking about 10 o'clock.
You gotta remember also think about Saturday morning cartoons and all that stuff. That was a huge thing as we grew up.
Yeah.
So us doing Saturday morning and we're talking about all the things with Marvel and all things in movies and DC. It's fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm cool in the morning. You talking about 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, trust me, I know that.
I'll be there too. I'll be there 10 o'clock at night. You know, I'm doing that too, man.
I ain't no young buck no more.
We did that. We've been there. We saved that for all you guys now to do that late night stuff, you know. Even though I have been doing it, because last night we stayed up a little bit late to watch Twisted Metal, but it was definitely worth it. I'm trying to get Danny. I'm like, Danny, just watch episode 11.
Just watch 11, then you're going to love it. I promise you. Just episode 11. You ain't got to have no context or anything. Just watch episode 11.
Yeah, I agree. Cousin T said, what if the eye squid gets inside the xenomorph? I think that's where they're going with this.
It's definitely
I think that's where this is going with this. But first, I'm going to ask before we break down the show, Danny, what did you think of this episode?
I thought this show was a fantastic episode. I learned a lot. I know it's not action-packed, but it really, in my mind, set up a lot of stuff. And I got a prediction, boy. If it is, I think it's gonna be killer. But I really like this. I wasn't bored. I like the way that you saw three different manipulations. Kind of almost you saw Morrow manipulate the little Indian boy, and you saw
and everything that Cavalier does.
Manipulate Wendy. You saw the bald-headed guy manipulate
And
her
Hermit.
brother.
Yeah.
So man, I was like, man, boy, they going in.
Yep.
Then we kind of see the female scientist manipulate her husband a little bit. So I was all in.
That's just
There's only one thing about this episode I didn't like.
Okay, interesting. Go ahead.
When we get there, I don't like. There's only one thing I didn't like. I don't like about this.
Tank said, really good episode. So curious, Wendy and the aliens. Wow. Okay.
When she started talking to him, I was like,
I'm honestly, I was done. I was like, what are we doing here? What is going on? No, because I could see something where it's going where like she talks to the aliens and the alien starts protecting her or something. I'm like, nah.
No, I think it's the opposite way. I think it's totally opposite. I'll talk about that, but she's gonna be the mother figure for them.
Exactly. Yeah. Where they're gonna like follow her and protect her and all kinds of nah.
And she said, send them home, and she's gonna get on a ship and send them home.
No, I'm not feeling that. But what do you think of the episode, Brian? Hold on, Danny. We'll get to that in just a second. Let me hear this, and then we'll get to you guys. What you say?
It was okay. I mean, there's a lot of talking. There was a lot of. So when you set up the show, like the first half an hour of the first show, you did a lot of talking, right? And then the second half of that first show was a lot of action. That was cool. The second episode was a lot of action, and then the third one was a lot of stuff going on. And now this fourth one, you went back to talking. So that's why it's kind of hard because you spoiled me. The second and third episode. And
this is what happens when you hang around Nzo all the time.
Wait, what? Why am I getting the blame?
But I'm not hating on the episode.
Action. If it ain't action, it's trash, garbage.
No, I didn't say it was garbage either, though.
I'm not saying
I didn't say it was garbage either. I just said they're setting me up for all this stuff, you know. And I feel like when you're setting up these things, like I want to enjoy it. I want to have more action, but I feel like they're setting up something that's going to be awesome. But if it doesn't become awesome, I'm gonna be very bad, very, very upset. So if episode 5 is fire because what they did in episode 4, I will grade episode 4 higher than I would right now.
I got you. And you were saying that you don't think that's what's gonna happen with Wendy. What do you think's gonna happen?
I think somehow Wendy is gonna fool Kid Cavalier, whatever his name, that by letting the xenomorph change him, he's gonna elevate his intelligence because like he's seeking intelligence, all this kind of stuff, the next evolution. I think she's gonna fool him to do that. And I think that God, what's his name? The guy with the white hair?
Kirsch.
I think Kirsch, so when Kirsch touched that egg, I don't know whether or not he's thinking, I think he's gonna find out something. Because I think he wants to evolve. Because there's a little bit of confrontation between him and the little rich billionaire.
100%. You can see the problem with Kirsch and Cavalier. And Cavalier, I want to punch him every time he's on the damn screen. Every time I just want to punch him in the face.
Yeah,
and Morrow, man, way Morrow was talking to the little boy, and I didn't catch why he was asking for his name, but I was like, yeah, that makes sense. So Morrow is playing his part.
What up, Tony? You know what's funny? I figured it was to find out who he was. I just didn't know he was gonna do what he was gonna do, but we'll get into that too. But man, I hope it doesn't go off the rails for me because right now I see it like it's going off the rails. But we'll get to some of the stuff in the episode. The first thing I want to say, and I think they've been doing it every episode. I love how they do the recaps with the opening trailer, with the opening credit scenes and everything. I love that. You don't just get the opening credits or recap the opening credits. They do it while you're watching the opening credits. So I love that. That's something I think more shows would do, and I hope they do that, But So the episode starts off with Wendy, and she can't hear anything because they're turning down her stuff. And she's pretty much explaining to everybody when she wakes up, like, what she hears. And that's when Cavalier comes in, and he actually wants her to talk to them. So what did you guys think? Like, what do you think his plan is right now? What do you think he wants to know from these alien creatures? Go ahead, Danny.
To exploit whatever they can give him, whatever he can get out of them, because that's what he's all about. He's trying to get higher evolution, whatever. And I think if he could somehow figure out how he could combine their strengths and whatever it is with him in a synthetic body, I think that's what he's trying to do. I think he's trying to find out the synthetic body to the peak of its perfection or whatever it is, because he's steady asking questions. How did you manipulate the software with your brother? We didn't put that in there. Why are you doing this? Da, 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 da. So I think he sees Wendy as the next chain or the next jump in evolution. And if he can tap into that and get the best parts of Wendy, whatever she can do, and whatever these aliens can do, he's going to transfer his essence. Because he's whole human now. He can't live forever. He might be got 60 more years?
Yeah.
So he's trying to plan for whenever his human body dies out to keep living on. That's what I think he's doing. I could be totally wrong, but
I think you're absolutely right, because I think a lot of the background stuff when it comes to these corporations, like even in the alien movies, when it comes to whaling and stuff, it's always about living forever, right? That's always their main goal. It's not like they're taking these aliens because they want to weaponize. They may want to do that too, but more or less, it's always about, living forever. That's what we heard in Prometheus.
You said it to her brother.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's what they want to do. Yeah. And I think once they figure it out, all them people going to transfer their right now. They ain't figured out the equation for the older people. Once they figure it out, they're going to do the same thing. I believe they are.
You're touching on a lot of good things. You're touching on a lot of good things.
And I'll get to you in a second, Brian. I just want to say, and I do hope that if they go that route, they really need to explain why we don't have it going forward. You know what I mean? With Aliens 1 and Aliens 2 and stuff like that. So they have to cut it up in a nice bow as to where, and I know there's going to be more than one season, so that's at least good with that. But they at least need to make sure that they don't do anything that really contradicts the movies that are following it. So I hope they do that properly. Go ahead, Brian, your thoughts.
I think with Danny's on the right road. I think he's trying to use the alien because obviously they can control the body, right? And I think he knows more about these things that he's letting it be known. So if they can control the body and tap into a body, so like we saw with the eyeball with the sheep, and increase their intelligence and all that stuff more, then that's exactly what he's trying to do right now with the hybrids. He's trying to tap into them and make sure, and if you can do it for anyone, now he gets the power to put older people in this and keep everyone alive forever. So this is a thing that he's looking for. But not only that, it's also just power. So now if he understands and how to control the xenomorphs too, along with all these species, along with the humans, he's putting himself at the top of the food chain always.
Yeah.
So it's, at the end of the day, it's always power.
Absolutely, 100%. And for me, it's like, I'm like, okay, so she can hear the frequencies of the aliens, which makes sense, right? Since she's a synthetic. The only problem I have, and I maybe they'll explain it, I guess they're using she's special, but she's the only one that can do it, right? It's kind of right, and it's kind of weird if they're all synthetics. You should be able to raise the frequency of every single one of them to where they will be able to hear it. So I kind of weird. But I'm pretty sure they'll probably explain as to why she's more attuned to it than the other ones are not. Because you could see right away Curly was upset. He was like, "Oh, can you hear them?" She was like, no. You know what I mean? So he
said, "Baby," he said, tell me the truth, not what I want to hear."
Yeah, exactly. So
could it be her level of intelligence? Like her brain waves, her brain activity was already on the higher end. That's why she was a choice to use her. She was already the top subject. Her higher brain waves allow her to do things that other ones just can't.
I chalk it up to like a mutant. I was watching Mortal Kombat Day, the story mode. And I don't know if you remember this, Hanzo, but you remember when I think they're in the cage and what's the one that can like a lizard? What's his name? The green one?
Reptile.
Reptiles
Yeah.
said that Shang Tsung came in there and studied him, and so that's how you know how to shapeshift. And Blanca was like, so your whole race can shapeshift? He said, no, only me. So I think there's only one or two people that can do that. And this guy is trying to study him. And like Brian said, once he learn it, he's not gonna let but a few people get some of the power, but he's gonna control everything. That's what that little sucker's a little Napoleon.
100%. That's a good comparison, Danny. Napoleon.
And I like that too. You know what I mean? But again, I just think maybe if they give a little bit more of an explanation to be like, oh, and I think they will as to why she's so special, because it's not just about her being the first run, right? There's something about her that makes her special, that's able to attune to these things. And again, we also see that early in the first couple episodes, they were talking about, the emotions and if they had emotions still, or, and now we can see that they do. They still have their emotions. It's not just the consciousness that's in those bodies. It's an actual, like, pretty much living person.
Do you worry about the control? Maybe now that they don't have the control, like we see in Nibs. Nibs is going fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So, is it lost control because they don't have the maturity?
That's my dislike.
Oh, really? Okay, go ahead. Explain, Danny.
I don't like those kids. They're not needed. If you take the kids out the story still progresses. And she talk about she pregnant and all this kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
To me, you got 3 good stories going. Neil's story is not needed to enhance his story at all. So to me, it's a distraction. In fact, I kind of fast forward through when she's acting all fool. Like, I don't want to see all that kind of crazy crap. But
you don't think that Dame and Sylvia is something like this is happening all the time? Because they said we were going to have these 5 dead kids if we don't figure this stuff out, because they knew this would be a possibility that they would reject the consciousness.
Ooh,
it's possible, but she seems to be the only one that's having issues. Everybody else seems to be coping with it. So I think it's a percentage, maybe 25% of people maybe won't reject it because the other because the other guy, he named himself Isaac after Isaac Newton. The black guy, the darker skinned black guy, he seems to be coping. The Indian guy, he's coping. He's being manipulated just like a child. I like the way they got how Mora is still using adult strategies to manipulate the child and that kind of stuff. That storyline is fantastic. And I think the way they portray Moro and Kid Cavalier, they're really making me hate them. I'm like, Brian, every time I see a little Kid Cavalier, I want to punch him. And Morrow, I'm feeling the same way the way he did the little boy, manipulating him, and then how he explained to him. That's what I'm really interested in seeing. Who is he going to pick? That's what I want to know. Who is he going to pick?
Who's
it got to be? It got to the Indian boy. Got to pick somebody for the face.
Yeah.
I hope he picked the bald headed guy.
Well, from what I'm hearing, it's supposed to be Wendy's brother. I think Wendy's brother is going to be the one that they're going to try and sacrifice for it, which kind of makes sense if it's Wendy's brother and Wendy can speak to the creatures now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's what they're going to do with that. But we'll get into that.
Wouldn't the thing like a snake when it came out the lung, though? I never knew it looked like a snake. It looked like a snake.
Looked like a tadpole. Or any type of
the head was a xenomorph, but the body was like a snake.
Yeah, they've always come out like that. Because if you remember from the first Alien, it comes out the guy's chest and it runs across the table. It does look like a snake with the xenomorph head, right? It's just they grow really quick, so it's gonna get its arms and legs pretty soon. Like maybe by the next episode, we're gonna see it with its arms and legs. So we'll see. So now they're talking about it, and she's explaining that she can talk to them and asking if you can make the sounds to talk back, which she's able to do. She's able to do it.
I thought that was nice.
Really?
Yep. I was like, man, it felt kind of eerie to me.
It felt weird. I didn't understand. You have vocal cords and how they gave her extra set of things. Like I don't understand exactly how that worked.
Hey Tamika, how you doing? Yeah, I was like,
and right there, she looks really robotic. that
She does.
makeup and that shot right there.
She does. She does. She does. But you see here, there's the thing. It's like she's not a machine. She's a child and she's frightened, right? Which is 100% correct. These are all kids. And I think, again, I know why they did it. I just wish they weren't so young. You know what I mean? You could have still manipulated a 16-year-old or something like that. You know what I mean? And I think there would have been more. So when the Indian guy goes to get into the observation room and he gets caught, he kind of like stumbles. I don't know what to do, and he runs off. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You put a little bit more age on that kid, and I think he actually knows how to handle a situation like that. You know, so again, that's one of the issues I have. I don't think they should have made them too young. I get why they did it, but if you really want to, you could have wrote it where it was the same thing. They're just 16. You know what I mean?
You just wouldn't be able to manipulate them the same way, though. And you also, I think what you're going to see is that some of these, they're going to have that rebellioncy, and I think that's you want to have the manipulation. You want to have the rebellioncy. You want to have all those things that in adolescence as people grow. So, you know, I think that's the point of having it, and all the issues you're going to have with that going forward.
It's funny you said that because I agree with you, but I also think so. When it came tomorrow, right? It doesn't matter how much age, how old you are. You put the person's parents in trouble, they're going to do something to make sure they save their parents, right? So I think that could have been done with a 16-year-old too. And then some of the manipulations, some of them are still not smart enough to like if you a genius, right? If I'm a genius, like the billionaire is, you could usually probably manipulate anybody. This is why he doesn't want to talk to people, right? Because he's so much smarter than them. There's nothing no one can tell him. There's nothing no one can do. He could probably tell you things that you may think you understand what he's saying, but he means something totally different because he's that much of a genius, right? They established that he's above everybody else, not just a normal genius. Like he's above everybody else. So I don't know. I just
don't have that contrarian. See, that's the problem when you have someone who's 16 years old. Most 16 years old are old kids are contrarians. They're going to be opposite of whatever you say. So you're going to try to control them, and they're going to rebel against that control. At the ages of 10, 11, 12, you can still control them. They're not going to do opposite what you're saying. So you can still have that control. So I think that's the reason why they went that way, even though I don't like seeing kids dealing with it.
And I don't disagree with you what you're saying, but if you know that because you're a genius, you know that a 16-year-old is going to do the opposite of this what you say, then you manipulate him to do what you want him to do. You
until
know
they do until they do the other thing. But
yeah,
I think he's like 16, 17.
Yeah.
Who the billionaire?
Cavalier.
You think
Cavalier. I think he's like 16,
really?
17.
Yeah, he's young. He ain't 18 yet.
Really? I would have gave him, well, they call him young, but I guess I thought it may be in his 20s, something like that.
He is.
If they even tell us, you know. I always thought he was older than that.
No, that's what they call him, boy Cavalier. So I think
they do call him boy. Yeah, they do call him boy.
So it makes you think he's 16 or 17 years old. Yeah, I mean, the actor himself is like 20, 21, but he's like 16 or 17-year-old person that he's trying to play. And I think that's another reason why he looks at them. He can manipulate someone who's younger than him, but someone the same age, he might not be able to do that because the social cues are different.
Do they say anything about his age, Danny?
I'm looking.
Cool.
It just says in the series he's implied that he's very young.
I got
maybe
you.
Late teens.
Alien species decides to speak.
So that's exactly, so he wants to talk to the aliens, and he knows Wendy's can doing it. So she's pretty much going to be his favorite. Yeah, go ahead.
Say he's 25.
Yeah, I thought
the actor.
So.
The actor is.
No, they said no. According to Wired, Boy Cavalier was 6 years old when he founded Prodigy. However, Prodigy was founded in 2110 in Alien. Earth takes place in 2120. Nevertheless, Cavalier appears to be around 25 years old.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the anthology and it says that he's supposed to be in his late teens, early 20s. He's not under the age of 21. But I'm just
either
or he's still
they haven't they haven't said it specifically what he is. That's the whole idea of the prodigy, the boy genius. If he's 23, 25, he's not a boy genius.
He's a man. To
He's
be
a
honest
man.
with you. A young man, anyways. A young man. So that's why I would say you could I would still call my son a boy if he's like 18, 19. You know what I mean? 20,
Yeah, so late,
even
that's
20.
what I'm saying, late teens, early 20s.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. To me, I thought more in the 20s, like 20, something like that. But yeah, I could see the 18 are not over. So Wendy and her brother are having a conversation. What do you guys think of their conversation? I don't really remember what they talked about, to be honest with you.
It seemed like he was really trying to gauge how much is that really his sister, how much she really remembers, and she's asking him, why are you upset? And he was like, I'm upset because they didn't let me see you when you were sick. You and Dad were sick. And she was like, why didn't you come see me? He's like, I couldn't. I was across the world. I'm in this war. I couldn't do it. And he believed it. And then they talk about this Neverland thing, which is keep on putting those seeds of Neverland. Because obviously we look at her talking to the aliens, the xenomorph is like Peter Pan with the crocodile.
Yep.
So here's what I'm
hearing the tick.
She's the crocodile.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
so here's what I'm going to ask.
Xenomorph is the crocodile.
Yeah. The sound is the clock.
Yep.
Yeah.
That drove Captain Hook crazy.
Yeah.
So here's the question I have to ask though. What do you guys think all the references to Peter Pan mean in this show, right? Do you think that if you kind of know the Peter Pan story, you kind of understand where the show is going?
I think that's his favorite book when he was a child. And somehow he's kind of fixated on that and is putting everything in his world in relation to that because it's easily recognizable with those kids because Eric, just about every kid know Peter Pan. That's why he naming them stupid names.
Because he's Peter Pan, right? He's like in the story, he's the Peter Pan. What do you think, Brian?
I think the whole idea is that this place that he's creating is Neverland. Once again, Peter Pan, what did he do? He manipulated all the kids. When he was the only one that was on his level, but he manipulated all the lost boys and all the kids and everything like that. I think it has more to do with control.
I got you.
That idea. And then it's a story that they see, that they understand, and it's able for him to manipulate a little bit, more when you're talking to them. So they actually understand. So it's a metaphor for him. So
absolutely. Now we move on to Morrow, and Morrow is talking to the Indian kid. What's the Indian boy's name again?
Slightly.
And he's pretty much manipulating him. He's actually trying to find out information from him. And this is where I kind of understand the younger part because a 16-year-old probably wouldn't have been given so much information so easily to give it up like that. So I can kind of understand that too as well, but what did you guys think about his manipulation of him? Go ahead, Danny.
That was awesome. It was dirty, but awesome, man. The way they wrote it. Because I've used some of them tactics, man, on my grandkids. I know that.
That's
whoever wrote that, man. They got kids. They know how to talk to kids.
Well, now you know, guys. Danny, police officer, don't mess with him. He's gonna manipulate you. He's gonna use the tactics.
I'm not using that for evil like he is. I try to use it for
good. I don't know about the good part. You know what I mean? I don't know about that, but I got you, Danny. I got you. What about Brian? What do you think of the manipulation?
I just thought it was smart. I mean, I thought it was to a point where we understand why they're so young, and then how you're using this young person to get so much information. And I believe that Kirsch knows that it's being done, and he's going to try to use that knowledge to hurt Morrow or get Morrow back.
Oh yeah, Kirsch knows what's going on.
He knows exactly.
I like that part where Morrow said, "Careful."
Yeah, but the fact that I think Kirsch can hear it. And I think the Morrow doesn't know that, and Kirsch is going to be playing Morrow, and he's going to use slightly to get at Morrow.
I could definitely see that. Also, I think Kirsch is going down the line of a lot of the synthetics in these shows where they don't interfere with the stuff that is going on, and they're doing a little bit just to see, right? Because I think he's going to kind of do like what Bishop did, you know, what the android in Prometheus did, you know what I mean? Like he was observating the goo, remember, and then he put it in the guy's drink to see what happened. I think that's exactly what Kirsch is on the road to doing. You know what I mean? I don't think he's just gonna, he might not be as helpful as we think he's going to be. You know what I mean? So I definitely think that's going to be interesting to see where he goes from there. Go ahead.
I wonder, am I the only person that sees a lot of Prometheus?
Yes.
A lot in this show, a lot of Prometheus.
Yeah, I do too.
Was it what's the other alien movie? The first one,
Covenant?
No, not just the aliens, but
so Prometheus is the first one, Covenant, and then I think there was one more after Covenant. Oh, Requiem. Right? Yeah.
But using well, you remember like the Arrival, and she was out there with the aliens and she was putting her hands on the screens and no idea what's going on. I feel like a lot of these scenes are very much like that when they're doing this with the small aliens and touching the screens and trying to get involved in understanding of these aliens. Same themes are being used from Prometheus and Arrival a lot.
Yeah, I feel you 100%. I do get your mic, Danny. Your mic just went out again. I do get a lot of the Prometheus stuff going on because I do think, like I said, the android is not, or Kirsch, I'd call him, Kirsch is going to be the one to want to see what happened. Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Kirsch is going to be the one that wants to see what these aliens will, because they're watching it do with a sheep. He's probably going to want to know what it does with a human, right? Oh, it's already 100%. Taking care of the sheep, but it's in a human body. How is it going to react differently than it was in? Because we only seen the eyeball in a cat and now in a sheep. So I think it's going to be like, oh, let's see what happens if it's in a human. You know what I mean? I think he's really.
I don't know if he's going to do that, but what if he did it into a xenomorph and he's the reason?
I can see that too.
Xenomorph.
Yeah,
they're already highly intelligent. What if I can cut them down so they're not going to destroy us? Let me put the eyeball in and see what he does.
Yeah, I can see that.
But do they got an eye socket? Because like it goes completely for the eye socket.
What I heard is I think the xenomorph's eyes. Don't quote me on the video, but it said something about like they were like under, it's kind of like a shell type of thing, but the eyes are there. Don't quote me on that because it was a couple of weeks ago, so I don't really remember. But I'm sure on Saturday, Shifty will have an answer for that, Natty. Shifty will have an answer.
It's going to be something, boy.
With Chris
eyes are
and
under
Shifty
the dome in Alien, so they under the dome they have eyes.
That's what I thought. Yeah. That's what I thought. That's what I heard. So we get into Kirsch now. Right after his conversation with Morrow, Kirsch is already in his room. So he knows what's going on, right? He knows what's going on. He can know that Kirsch, and I think he kind of like, what would you do if your family was in trouble? He kind of asked that question. What would you do? Kirsch is like,
wasn't Kirsch looking back at the video and he saw the thing with the guy neck?
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Yeah. 100%. He looked at the video where he choked his neck, and it looked like he saw the thing. Yeah. And when I seen that, I was like, okay, he either seen it or they're just showing it. But I'm like you. I think he's seen it. That's how he knew to go back into the room and like, okay, something's going on. Now, can he actually hear it, or did he tap into it? That's the question I'm asking. You know what I mean?
The question he asked him had the monkeys, right? Yeah. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil.
Yeah.
And he asked about if when your family members, do you turn them in? So now let's look at it turning around. Let's look at Kirsch. And the person who he should turn in is Slightly. And he said, should I say something about you? He Slightly doesn't understand it, but he's asking Slightly, should I say something about you? Or should I stand by you and figure this out to save you? And he said, well, I will stand by you. I'll stand by my people. I wouldn't turn you in. And I think that's what made him think about it. And he's going to then do that later in this season.
But it's funny that you say that, because when you say that too now, it's kind of to me like him saying, yeah, maybe it's me but it's more or less I want to see how this all plays out, right? That's how these synthetics or these androids have always been in the Alien franchise, right?
100%.
Even though they're working for the human and stuff like that, they still always have their own agenda. And I think Kirsch has his own agenda. What about you, Danny? You think he has his own agenda too? Yeah, he said, yeah, he has his own agenda.
I most definitely think he has his own agenda, because you could see a little bit because I don't think he liked the way Kid Cavalier kind of was dismissive of him in that room.
100%.
Aren't you supposed to be doing some experiments?
Yeah.
He kind of caught himself and kind of smiled and turned.
Yeah, he's talking down to him, and the AI don't like that ish.
Facts. Facts. 100%.
So definitely, I definitely think that Kirsch got something going on. We don't know it yet.
And it's funny too, because Cavalier keeps talking about how he wants to talk to someone more intelligent than him, right?
Yeah,
or just
Kirsch
as
right in front
intelligent.
of him.
That's what I'm saying. So even though, he doesn't seek, and because I think we get the kind of an idea of how he thinks about the androids and everybody, because he tells them, he's like, this is not a girl. This is a product that I created. You know what I mean? So everything in there, Kirsch, Wendy, all the kids, he doesn't see them as any type of equals, not even close. They're mechanical beings.
Yeah.
And the only reason why he's so connected to Wendy is because I think he can kind of see that she can communicate with the alien that is supposed to be smarter than him, to give him the person he wants to talk to. You know what I mean?
I think Kirsch is hiding his intelligence too. He's just being
That's right.
He just being compliant now.
Yes.
But
I'm going to pretend, and then as soon as you turn your back, we're going to get a Skynet situation here.
Yep.
Matter of fact, we were just talking about the xenomorphs going to a body. What if Kirsch forces it on Cavalier?
It could be. It could be. I could definitely see that, right? I could see it being Wendy's brother too as well.
I think Wendy, they're gonna turn Wendy brother. She's gonna be mad, and she's going to fool Kid Cavalier that if he does something, it's going to improve his intelligence. But actually, he's gonna get the short end of the stick. Wendy is doing that. She is right now. She's being compliant because she want her brother around. But as soon as if her brother changes or she loses her brother, all bets are off.
Absolutely. Alien Earth takes some story ideas from the comics, like Wendy can talk to the aliens. Interesting. See, I didn't know that they did that in the comics, because I never really read an alien comic, to be honest with you. But again, I've said it. I have an issue with it. I don't like it, but we'll see where it goes. Maybe they can turn me around with it. I find it so weird that she could talk to the aliens,
Can I ask you a question though about the
aliens?
aliens?
Sure, go ahead.
Do you think they inherently are evil?
You know what? So here's the
answer
question. Go ahead, Danny.
I was gonna be mine. I guarantee they're gonna do this like the doggone what's the people that Samuel Jackson like? The Skrulls.
The Skrulls.
Because in the comic books, the Skrulls was evil. I guarantee they're gonna be like the aliens. We really aren't evil, but everybody keeps coming at us, and we gotta protect ourselves. They're gonna do that anti-hero spin. I guarantee they're gonna do the anti-hero spin on the aliens.
That is where I have the problem, Danny. You are absolutely correct. I believe the same thing, but that is exactly where I have the problem. What about you, Brian? Since you asked the question,
I think they're going to go. So we talked about Wendy being like the mother figure, and it's going to be that nature versus nurture. And
you already seen that with,
but they break out, right? But exactly, they did. You definitely saw it. But this would be once again, they're borrowing from all these franchises. They're borrowing from all the movies. I think this would be the first thing. So they break out. This is why I don't think Hermit is going to be taken by the alien, because they're going to be going to attack Hermit, and she's going to say no. And then you're going to realize that she could control them. And because they trust her, they're going to listen to her. Nature's versus nurture. So they're still going to do what they do. They're still going to be evil, whatever, they're going to kill people all the time, but they will listen to her because they see her as a mother figure. That nature versus nurture kind of crap.
Absolutely. Now we get to this favorite scene.
Up.
Favorite scene in the movie, then the show. Favorite scene when I, because I am dying to see that.
I thought that Spec was going to start talking.
Me too. Me too, Danny. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I thought he was going to talk too.
When he stood up on the hind legs.
Yeah,
I said that's going to start talking.
At 100%, I thought that too, as well. You know, but this is what I'm interested in. I like the different creatures that they have, and this is just the one we've seen. We don't know about the other ones that they have yet. Is there more to the snail-looking ones, right? Is there more to the plant-looking one, run? So we haven't seen those ones yet, and I'm excited to see where they go with that. But like I said, I loved the scene because they're trying to observe the alien, and then we find out that this alien is now watching Kirsch. Intelligent. And see, and it focuses on, right? So it focuses on the two guys, Cavalier and the bald head guy, but then it goes to Kirsch and it stays on him. There's a reason why it stayed on him and it just started watching him from the rest. Like, you're observing me, well, I'm observing you, because I think it knows that he's actually the smartest one in the room. It's not Boy Cavalier, it's Kirsch. And if this sea creature is as intelligent as it says it is, or they say it is, then it knows that Kirsch is the one I have to watch out for, not the rest of these guys. What do you think? Go ahead, Brian. Danny, either. Yeah, go ahead.
Go, Danny. It's fine.
I don't know if I agree with that part of it. I think he's watching Kirsch, not because maybe Kirsch's intelligent, but maybe he can sense that Kirsch's not human, that he's something different. He's trying to figure it out because everything else he's been able to crawl into has been a life form, but I don't think he can sense that life form because he's a synthetic and he's not sending off whatever frequency that life forms do. I don't know whether or not he can actually sense his intelligence. I think he can sense or can't sense him, and that's intriguing. What is this? I can feel a certain vibration when I'm coming around life forms. I'm looking at this one and he ain't doing nothing. I ain't feeling nothing. So that's what I think it is. Not the intelligence, just that the fact that his frequency is different than the actual human being or actual living being.
That's interesting. What about you, Brian?
I thought it was fear. I think he was intrigued by the lack of fear from Kirsch. So because we saw Cavalier, right? What Cavalier is acting, looking at it one way, right? He's looking at it, he's kind of like, oh, hey, and he kind of take it back a little bit, and the other guy was taking back even more. But when you start looking at Kirsch, there was no fear. There was just intrigue. There was more like, okay, what is really going on with this guy? I'm intrigued by him because you see his intelligence level has gone up, and it's possible that the most intelligent person in this room or thing in the room is Kirsch, not Cavalier.
Mm-hmm.
So we all assumed that it was Cavalier, and that he's looking down on Kirsch. But maybe the sheep knows that Kirsch is actually the most intelligent person, most intelligent thing, and he's attracted to that.
That's kind of the vibe that I got from it. But I can see Danny's point too. I can see it maybe not understanding of synthetics or anything like that. It's just funny to know that. I guess we'll find out why it's like that. But the question that I should be asking is, does this eye get into a xenomorph? What do you think?
I don't want to see it get into a xenomorph because they're already crazy already. I mean, if it does, I mean, I won't be against it. But if it doesn't do it, I don't have. If it just goes through, jumps from synthetic to human, whatever, I'm cool with that. But to me, they kind of, unless they pick it up, because this is the episode 4, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
They're wasting a lot of time on this eye in the xenomorphs, and now they pretty much just letting the other 3 monsters or creatures, whatever, just kind of fall by the wayside. And I think one reason they're doing it because you're gonna see this toy in Walmart. So
100%.
You're gonna see that eye, especially Halloween coming up too. So I think it's merchandise. I don't know about the other ones. Yeah, who want a slug? I don't want no slug. And
It's
that's the
funny
plant
too.
thing.
It's funny too because I think that they're focusing more on this one than the other creatures because it's going to have a major role in the final episodes where something's going to happen. Now, it could possibly get into a synthetic. Maybe what's the one that's going crazy?
Nips.
Yeah, maybe
Or
it gets in her, or
It could
maybe
get-
in the xenomorphs.
Or it could get in that Cavalier, and then Cavalier.
It could.
You could tell. You can tell it's a little different when because it looks a little bit bigger than the regular eye, but it might find a way to get smaller and actually look human. I mean, I don't know.
Well, it's definitely processing, right? This whole time when it's doing that and looking at Kirsch and everything, it is processing everything around it. And when you say there and it's like, oh, this creature is
'cause it's
highly
crazy.
intelligent.
Got 8 eyes when it's in
Yeah.
tentacle form, but then they all come together.
Yep.
But then when you see it looking like a prism and stuff, so that's cool how they got the different points of view on there.
I agree. So next episode is going to be a flashback to the ship. Yeah, that's what I heard. So I'm good about that. He said, but xenomorphs don't have eye sockets. Well, we found out there that they actually do have eyes under their mask. Brian checked it up. So yeah, they do. And I kind of heard that too. Maybe not eyes in the typical way, like you said, eye socket and shit. Yeah. So that's a possibility as well.
And
But
that's exactly why I don't believe it's going to go into the xenomorph anymore. The more I think about it, the more I think they're going into the hybrid. The more I think about it, as you just said, nibs, I can see nibs or slightly, or we haven't seen Smee in a long time. One of those, because it takes them and makes them even more intelligent. So they're supposed to be at the peak of physicality. That's why they can go be like soldiers. Now you put that eye in it, and it takes their intelligence from top of of a human to the top of everything, and now they're a real problem.
So,
and then what if it becomes the real evil, and they have to use the xenomorphs to kill it?
Oh yeah, 100%. That's another thing I was thinking about too, right? Because you said it's not going to go into xenomorph, and I can see that, but I actually think if Wendy's able to talk to the xenomorphs, right, then you're gonna have to have something, because anytime the xenomorph attacks them, she's like, no, that's a friend. Well, we're not gonna do that, right? So you're gonna need to have something that she can't communicate with. That's gonna be
and that's
more
gonna be the real monster.
Yeah,
that's gonna be the real monster. Exactly. But if you put it in one of those kids that we are now having problems with, these hybrids that we're having problems with, it gets into one of those, and now we have a big problem. Now you have the intelligence of higher intelligence of a human with the super. You basically have a superhero, evil superhero.
Yeah. So that's the question,
though.
though. You think she would be able? You think that the hybrids, because again, they're just consciousness, right? So we don't really know how that alien works. You think it will be able to take over the body, even though it's just a consonant? Yeah.
Because if it jumped into Wendy, it definitely would, and they'll be like the smartest person in the room. It'd be the smartest thing in the room. You know, and then we have a highly intelligent superhero type of thing going against. I mean, being the thing that could end humanity, and then we use xenomorphs to kill that thing. And then they send Wendy off with the xenomorphs because they know they can't control it.
So what if it ends up being him?
That'd be really interesting.
What if it ends up being Kirsch? Would make sense as to why it's focused on him so much. You know what I mean? Maybe that's who it wants, and
we know the xenomorphs can't use the synthetics, but maybe the eye can.
Exactly. It can connect to circuits. I think it can connect to circuits. I think, yeah, it probably can. To be honest with you, said episode of Peacemaker is now streaming on HBO. Like, yeah, I'm gonna watch that later. Hopefully, it's better than the first episode. To be honest with you, you know. So yeah, so like I said, even here, like the sheep is up close and it's watching and everything. So I think there's going to be some interesting situations like that. Then we get to the doctors and we find out that they are actually married, right?
And knows their names. I never realized they both were Sylvia. It's Arthur and Dame Sylvia.
Yeah, I never noticed. I never realized it either. But then we have, what's her name again? Sorry, the redhead.
Dame. Game. Oh no,
yeah,
or your Nibs. Or Nibs.
Nibs, yeah. Nibs
Nibs
comes in
suck.
and now she's talking about she understands and she's pregnant. And this is where Danny kind of checked out because Danny wasn't feeling it. Me too. But I think the most important part about this scene was the fact that one of them is going crazy, right? And we don't know what's going to happen to the rest of them. Like, are they all going to go crazy? Or, so what
Or
are
is
your
she the
thoughts, bro?
perfect candidate for the eye to jump into?
100%. Could be. But
Because she
she's
has the
definitely.
problems and she's aggressive. You
I
know,
was just
we have
about to
all
say
those
that.
issues. They're going. They said what was it, status 3 or stage 3 problem with this
Yeah.
one with her, and she gets out and goes somewhere where the eye is
We about to
and
get
breaks out
shut down.
and almost went out to her before. Remember, she pushed it out. We saw the
Yeah.
beginning. The first it was like a showing like a we're setting up the entire storyline where her almost getting it first, and then now gets her this next time.
She about to be in that room with that guy with the push broom and be down the hall. That was she going.
Absolutely.
The
Now,
disposal room.
now that you said that too, because we do see more of this, and I can't remember which scene it was in, but I watched the video and they talked about it. But the guy, spraying the crap on the wall. Any ideas what you think that is? I have no idea what he's doing with that yet, and we
That's
see
the
it in
person
almost every.
for the bodies that don't make it, for the people that don't make it.
You think so? I don't know, man. I don't think Wendy's going to control a lot of xenomorphs, just one, and there is going to be the other xenomorph she can't control. It's funny because you're right. She may only be able to control that one. I could see that too. But if she can talk to them,
But it could
you
be
know what I
genetics,
mean?
though, because that's her brother's. So maybe genetically is why she can talk to him.
Yeah, but
Because
she was hearing it before they put him in the lung, though, right? She was hearing it when they were doing the cutting it open and pulling it out from the cugger. That's when
Yep,
she
that's what she said.
originally started seeing it. So, yeah, I don't think it's really much to do with the connection with her brother. I just think she had to realize what it was she was listening to, and now she can understand that it's them talking. So she just needs to be able to translate what it is she's hearing.
Are they talking to her or they're talking between each other?
I think they're talking between each other. I don't think they're actually talking to her. But then, I isn't there a scene where they say like it chose her or something like that?
She
Like
said she thinks that they chose her.
She thinks that it chose her, and I'm like, oh God, here we go. So I'm worried about that. I really am worried about that. But like I said, if they do it in a way that makes sense, I'll be okay with it. But right now, it kind of seems funny to me. But we do find out, and one thing that I did like is that even though she's going crazy and she's talking about all this stuff, when she attacks the girl and she gets scared, they have their little defenses to take care of these people just in case. Now, it didn't go as far as enough, but she pressed that button under the desk and those two men came flying in real quick to take her out. You know what I mean?
It's like they knew that this might be a problem. This
might be a problem.
happen.
Yeah. 100%. So Danny, I know you didn't feel too strongly about this stuff. What do you think about it? Why was your biggest issue?
That this story is not important to moving the story along. It doesn't push it. I mean, it doesn't. To me, it's a distraction because I'm more focused in on Kid Cavalier, Wendy, Xenomorph, the connection, Kirsch, Morrow. They're a little back and forth.
What up, Mike?
To me, this just wasn't needed. Maybe if you see it in a flashback or something, but to me, if you take that scene out of it, it doesn't change the story at all.
You think of foreshadowing. We talked about what we saw with the eye, right? We saw at the beginning when she pushed it out. We're talking about what she's going to be important later. Her foreshadowing of her is going to be something that we're going to find out that is important overall for the story. And I think that's the only reason they will show this.
Keep talking.
Yeah, it's because they're foreshadowing what's going to happen. And we're going to be looking at like what episode 7, episode 8. We're going to see Nibs gets out, and then they foreshadow that something else happens with her. But that's why you need to understand the entire storyline because what's going to happen soon. I think that's where we're going with her.
Maybe the
payoff that's come out later.
Eyeball spider will get her.
Yeah, that's what I think. I totally think that the eyeball's gonna see her and come after her. I think that's what it is. That she is interesting, and we're gonna find out that what we saw in the first episode with the eye almost getting to her actually happens and what goes crazy, and how she's a problem. But we need to know her entire storyline. That's the only reason I could think of that we keep on going to Nibs when we haven't seen Smee. We barely see any of these other ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
She has to have a reason why she's there.
And that's another question that I was going to ask you too, right? Since we don't see the other ones, we have Nibs, we have her, and we have the Indian guy. What do you think his outcome is going to be? Right? What do you think his outcome? Because we already know he's being manipulated. We know Krish understands what's going on. So what do you think his outcome is going to be? What do you think is going to happen to him? Like, he could be a sacrifice too.
Yep.
Right? He could be a sacrifice too. So maybe another creature for him, right? Because it seems to me like Krish is like observing it, but also I could see him pushing things to go forward. You know what I mean? Like pushing Krish to go into one of them rooms with another creature and be like, hey, go check that out to see what happens. Because again, at the end of the day, the reason why I think they call this one observation is because Krish is trying to understand, and trying to understand situations and what happens, and he may actually manipulate a few things to happen so that he can get answers to his questions. Because the one thing about an AI is it always needs to have the answer to a question. And if that is the case, then I think there's questions about these creatures that he is definitely going to want answers to, so. Said she pokes her eye out. That's foreshadowing. You're right.
Yes.
You are right. There was a scene where she does touch her eye. You know what I mean?
And we saw that at the beginning of the trailer. I mean, when they're doing the beginning of the show. So that I just feel like the eye is going to jump into her.
Yeah, I could see that. We have the bald head guy talking to Wendy's brother. Wendy's brother is telling him that he wants to take Wendy and leave. And he's like, well, you can leave. But if you do leave, that lung that you have, we are going to charge you for it, or you can stay here and work it off. Now, I don't know, but to me, it seemed like he had a healthy lung. I don't know why they took his lung out. They didn't correct me if I'm wrong, but did they say anything like his lung wasn't good? It was punctured. I don't remember them saying anything like that. So
they just took it from him. That's it.
Took it from him, put in a fake lung so that they could manipulate him again, right? But he decides that, I guess it's better if I stay to help Wendy instead of have to pay it off. Did you guys like this scene? Danny? You there? Are you muted? I think it's Mike. Brian, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think they're playing.
I was trying to research these doggone creatures.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. I got you. You find anything?
They call this one thing, I can't pronounce it. The eye thing is a technical, I can't pronounce it. So
a technical testicle.
It's called TRYPANOH. Trypahancha Oculus.
I won't even bother to attempt that. I butcher names way too much to even attempt to do it. Yeah, we know they use the lung for the alien, Mike. We know that. But my thing was, did they just take out a good lung, or was it like, they took out a good lung? Yeah, they took out
nice
a good lung.
Pink and everything, and there was no reason to take it out.
That lung looked good and healthy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying, right? So they took out a good lung that they didn't need to take out. They put in this other lung and then tell the man that if he leaves, you got to pay off the lung.
I mean, that's not the first time you ever heard that. You know that's what they do.
Yep.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Sound like John Q there to me, bro.
Facts. The lung was stitched up on one side. You can see it before the chest burst pops out. The xenomorph punctured his lung. Okay, that's what I was asking. Yeah,
that
so
might
that's
be
what
true.
I was asking.
And they fixed it and then used it.
Right, that's what I was asking, because just to go and take the lung out of like that, That's what I was going to. I don't remember if the xenomorph had done something to the lung earlier when they had him, and that's why they had to operate and take it
I
out,
think he's
right?
right.
So
Mhm.
yeah. So that makes a lot more sense to just say, oh yeah, we're just going to take his lung. And then I guess when that happened, they used it as their advantage to be able to do the experiment, right? It's like, oh,
Exactly.
okay, we could do this now. So yeah, so that makes more sense. So they have a little conversation. And again, we have more conversations with Wendy and Boy Cavalier. And I kind of was checking out a little bit. So maybe you guys can go into more of this conversation. Because I know the video I watched said that Cavalier was kind of manipulating Wendy at one point.
Bro, big
Right.
time.
Did
All
you
right.
you,
So
you didn't hear that thing when he said, "Oh, if you're my sister, there's no war or anything that'll keep me from getting to you." So she's trying to say that Hermit really didn't want to see her when she was sick. He's lying to her and making her feel like that he's not the most important thing to her. He wants to make sure that she follows him and not her brother.
Then he
I got you.
said, if he leaves, he said, please don't. He said, that's not an argument. Saying please is not an argument.
Yep.
And then he said, I don't want him to be a distraction. And she said, oh, he won't. I promise he won't. Then she pinky promised. And then he pinky his promise. So he said, okay. But yeah,
I got you.
So now if he makes a decision to kick him out,
you broke the pinky promise.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he want those young kids like that. Because a teenager ain't caring about no pinky promise.
No, I get it. Like I said, I get the fact of why they did the kid stuff, why they're that young. I feel like you could have probably manipulated a 16-year-old too in a different way. It didn't have to be like that. You could have used reverse psychology or something like that. You know what I mean? So but I do get why they use it. Makes it it's a lot easier to manipulate someone younger than a 16-year-old, even though I think you could still manipulate a 16-year-old. It's a little bit harder because at one point they are going to do whatever they want to do. You know what I mean?
They're going to look at you and say, F you.
Yeah, 100%.
As long as they stay in that body and long as they're living, they're going to learn. They're not going to stay 8, 6, 7, however old they are. They're going to start learning.
Why they said they could stop it, right? And he said, no, let's just let it go and let them stay. We can end this thing, but they want to continue to be able to manipulate them.
And I think that's a good point. I think where they're going to is like it's a consciousness. So how does a consciousness age now that it's not in a body, right? Because your brain gets bigger, you get smarter. But now you're in a consciousness that already has the ability and capability to be smarter than a regular human, right? So I think that's where they're kind of going with this too as well. Like, hey, maybe this.
And then too, what's confusing is if the machines go down, then they dead. So their main importance is keeping the machines working and functioning properly.
That go ahead. Yeah, you're right, Danny. Go ahead.
That don't make no sense. I thought they would be like kind of independent once they get to a certain, but they are, based on what they showed us in this last episode, they are dependent upon those machines to keep them going. So the machine, but Morrow, he doesn't seem like that. Like he can be detached from the machine. He doesn't. So I'm not quite sure. To me, I haven't figured that out. They hadn't explained it enough. But Morrow seems more independent in Kirsch than the synthetics, because Kirsch doesn't like he needs to recharge or be rebooted or wherever the case or updated. But Wendy and those cats, they're dependent on that machine.
I think so too. But the question is, and I ask this because if the body dies, if the machine dies, does the consciousness die? Are you still able to extract that consciousness from that body and put it in another one, right? Or do you have to?
Is there a time period when it takes it for them to be able to do it?
Right. Because she was pretty much dead for a while, right? When the xenomorph hit her and shit, she was dead. And they brought her back, and then the consciousness came back with it. So my question is, if they die, does that consciousness still linger around a dead body, or does there's a certain time period that you have to get it really quick, right? Maybe not well, Yeah, maybe not extract because it's an android body, so I think you can always repair it. But do you have to repair it in a certain amount of time before
before
that consciousness
the
actually
brain
dies
the
as
brain
well?
dies. The
Yeah,
brain
yeah,
activity, like it's like, but it's kind of like what you have where someone can have be brain dead, so the brain is still working, or the body's still working, and the brain is
right.
dead. Or what if the body stops working and you're like a
And the
vegetable,
brain is still
brain's
alive.
still
Yeah,
alive, and you have to
yeah,
get it
yeah.
out through that time.
Yeah. So that's what I'm curious about. And I think
Okay,
that's
Miss
one of the
Miss Onion.
things they're exploring about that. What was that?
She says, I think it's a copy of the consciousness. But then
Okay.
where would the
Where would the
original be then?
original consciousness be? Yeah, no, because I think it's their actual consciousness because the body died,
Yep,
right?
because they
The
got rid of
young
it.
body died. The body died, they got rid of it. So I think it is their actual consciousness. It could be a copy, right? But I think is their actual consciousness. Okay, so like I said, I kind of checked out when they talked about this
This whole
stuff, but you
pinky
guys broke it
promise
down.
bull
Yeah,
crap.
yeah, yeah. Now we get this guy, I can't remember his name, but he's happy. So
The
there's
Toodles
two.
one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and there's two of them that are actually happy being there, right? Because they're learning, they're doing other things, and they're happy to be around there. It's just we find out that there are some that are stable, there are some that want more, there are some that can be manipulated, and all of them seem to have these human emotions. So I think
Mhm.
it's kind of cool that they did that. I kind of like that, where each one of them is not just like robotic type of stuff. So, what do you guys think about that? Because I think it's cool. I like it.
I think that it's
Go-
almost like you see him and you see that he sees Kirsch almost as a parent. And
Yeah.
he's looking for that approval, and that actually gives Kirsch more ability to really take advantage of him and use him in certain ways. So, but it's important for you to feel useful, right? Because now you have
Hmm.
that connection. I think Kirsch is doing that, and that's why he talked to us about slightly. You're one of us. You're one of
Hmm.
mine, one of me. And that you saw Boy Cavalier is not interested in them doing that. So like when Dame Sylvia was like, no, I can't leave her. He doesn't want those familial attachments. But
Hmm.
Kirsch is smart and he's still doing those things. And I think that's what's going on Kirsch overall.
That's why he said they may have just killed 6 kids, or best case, there's synthetics who think they're humans running around. Yeah, no, I get you.
No,
I
she's
get you. That's
that's
Isaac,
Isaac. Yeah,
right?
you're right. You're
Yeah,
right. That's
yeah.
Isaac. That's his name. That's his name.
So,
Mhm.
and that's what I was going to bring up too, that they actually want to have names. They don't want to be known as these Peter Pan type people. They want to have their own identity and stuff like that, right? It's a little bit of interesting take as to what they're doing here, because we get to a little bit more where, Morrow is pretty much telling this guy he is going to kill his parents if he doesn't do what he wants them to do. I think I passed that part, right?
Mm. But just so you know,
Where he has the
Isaac is
parents. Yeah.
Toodles. The name they have for Toodles, his name is Isaac. But yes, so you're right. But me saying Toodles is also the Wendy, the whole Peter Pan name that they have for him. It's the same person.
Yeah, exactly. So he's telling him what he wants him to do. He's sitting by his
Hey,
mom and he's
ooh.
threatening him. I think that was kind of
And he or she is going to fall.
I think that was kind of devious there. Danny, your thoughts?
Um, yeah, Morrow, he a different kind of evil. I'll tell you, man. That sucker Voldemort evil. How he did a little boy like that, man. You don't do that little boy like that. But he could have got the information he needed without threatening his parents and his family. He could have got that. He is savvy enough to do that. Because why isn't he little boy doing that when he said, when you get all this stuff done, come get me? So how he gonna get there?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
he don't really need that little boy. I think that's just a plot device just to paint Mora as the make him more of a bad guy so people don't like him. I really don't like him now the way he did a little boy like that.
Do you think it's
Because
interesting that there's no person that's a good person? Like, there's no doubt Moro is the villain. He's evil. But even the
Hmm.
people that you want to say that aren't supposed to be the villain are also evil. There is
Well,
no like
I think
good,
there's only one good person there, and that's the male doctor. I
and
think
his
he's
wife.
good.
but he
I
wants to
don't
get
think the
out.
wife, I don't think the wife good.
He
I
wants
think
to
the
get out
wife,
though. He said, I don't want to be here.
yeah, because he know what they're doing is wrong. He's
And
the only one. He's the only one with a conscience. Everybody else don't have a conscience.
I think the wife kind of does because she has like feelings for them, but she's also like, I'm gonna do whatever Boy Cavalier tells me to do. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Because you
He
can
probably
see,
paying him a ton of money.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Because remember, he says you're not her mother. You know what I mean? You're her
Doesn't
doctor.
want
You're
that
not her
familial
mother.
connection. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that she does kind of care, but she's like more into the science of it all, you know, the technology, how it works. I want to know this. Where you're right, Danny, as the doctor, he's like, no, I can't do this anymore. This is not
So,
good. So he
yeah.
has morals, right?
What's interesting about them is you remember why they started this research at the beginning?
No, I don't.
They can't have kids.
Okay.
So that's why Dame sees them as like her daughter, her son, her kids, because they can't have kids.
Cavalier use that
to his
to
advantage.
manipulate them and
Yeah.
saying, okay, but then he still like, they're not, you get away, they're not your kids, you know. But that's probably how they got him on board, and that's why she's not going to leave them because they can't have kids, so you're not going to lose
got
that.
a false hope, like maybe we can get you a kid like this, something.
Or she just sees them as her child because she has that biological clock that's like, you need to have something right there. So you hold on and latch on to these things that you created that aren't your kids.
Yeah. You're right. Makes sense. So after hearing the conversation, right, because Krish is listening, he was able to tap into, I guess, the microphone that, you know, Morrow is using, and he hears the plot. He hears everything that is going down. He tells nobody, and then he goes to the eggs and he starts to pet one. Now, this is where I start to think like, okay, you know what? I was thinking about how I could get the answer to the question I want to, but I don't need to. I could just let this play out, right? If I just let all the situation play out, then I can get a better understanding. Because to me, it seems like he just wants to have a better understanding of each one of these creatures. So instead of being like, oh, I have to manipulate things, no, I don't. I'll just sit back and not say anything, right? And see how it plays out. That way I get the observation and the answers that I need. Again, all of the androids in every one of these movies have done the same thing. So there's no doubt in my mind that's what he's doing. What do you think?
That's 100% right.
I don't have no problem with
that. You think that you think that's what he's doing, Danny?
Yeah, I ain't got no problem with that theory.
I got you. Brian?
Yeah, that's what he's doing. And he's thinking, well, I think we're going to have a conversation at the end of the show, at the end of the season. Who's the real evil one?
Yeah.
Is it
100%?
Is it Kirsch because he just sees all of them as, you know, ones and zeros, and he can utilize and use whoever? Or is it Morrow for what he was trying to do slightly? Is it Boy Cavalier? You know, who's the real evil person? I think that's what we're going to have, and the answer is going to be all three.
I think it's going to be on Kirsch programming, because sometimes when they program these things, they get a certain code, and if you violate that code, then Kirsch sees you as an enemy, because he's able to differentiate between letting the studies not going off on Cavalier and then not ending old boy's life right here when he has the capacity to differentiate. Okay, if you answer this question, then this is on the good side of the code. If you don't answer this question, it's on the bad side of the code. So I'm gonna compartmentalize and push you there later, and then when it's time for me to eliminate you or do whatever, then that's when I'm gonna do it. So I don't think he's necessarily evil. I just think he's going by his code, whatever his programming is. That's what I think he's doing. I don't think he's just really good or evil. I just think that, hey, if you're on this side of the code, you're okay. If you're on this side of the code, then you got to go. Maybe not now, but it's in my data banks that you're going to have to go when the time is right.
I mean, it's artificial intelligence, though. So, I mean, he's always thinking. It's not necessarily it's in code, not just one and zeros, like I'm saying. He's thinking.
Wow,
he is intelligent in itself. But yeah. I mean, it's same thing I'm saying. So
yeah. And no. I agree with you guys 100%. I don't think he's evil or good. He's like an opportunist. oh, I need to see where this plays out, because an AI is always trying to get smarter, right? We're seeing it in real life now. They're always trying to get the AI that we have now smarter, smarter, smarter. So I think that's what's happening with Kush. I don't think he's the evil one that's going to be like grabbing
I
people
think
trying to kill them.
he just is.
Yeah, right,
Mm.
exactly.
If you get in my way, I'm gonna eliminate you. If not,
Yeah,
I don't care. I'm steady. This is my objective. So
exactly. And I
But-
also think now that his objective is a little bit different than everyone else because of these creatures now, right? Now his objective is to understand these other life forms, right? How they live, how they survive, what they do, right? That's why they start with the tadpole, put it in the lung. Oh, okay. So now it turns into this. What happens when the xenomorph gets older? You know what I mean? How can we control it? You know, oh,
I
Wendy
don't-
can talk to them now. So let's see where
Yeah.
that plays out, you know?
I don't want to see a flashback. I hope they skip that if that's true.
Nah, that's gonna be a whole episode,
Because
unfortunately.
I would rather see the other three creatures, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Because if they do another one, they do another flashback. Then we only got 3 episodes to see these other 3, and are they worse than this? Because if you worse than a xenomorph, there's something. But I was watching that video that was saying about there's 9 species in this show.
Really?
So I'm like, good Lord.
So you know what's funny too? Because I think the flashback episode is to what happens on the ship. So we're gonna see a little bit. Maybe in that flashback, we'll get more information about the creatures, right? Maybe that's how they're gonna explain the creatures to us a little bit more. But we're gonna see what happened on the ship. But I agree with you. I think they should have kind of cut that into the first episode instead of having that 30-minute boring ass beginning. You know what I mean? You could have cut that beginning down and you could have put what happened in the ship in that scene there. And then I think it flows a little bit better. But maybe there's so much you got to tell it in a full episode, I guess. But then do it in episode 2 or something like that. By this time, you save the last 4 episodes for what's going to break down in the ship, you know, in the on the island they're on. You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see. I could be wrong. Could come out and I'd be like, oh, this episode is fire, you know. So we'll see how the flashback works.
It might be a full of action, and that would be something that a lot of people want.
Yeah. And I don't. So first off, hold on. Let's just say this, okay? Because I know Danny said at the beginning, oh, action. I do. I like it. You know what I mean? I want to see some action. I don't mind if there's no action, but give us something. Like the last episode of Twisted Metal, man, we were sitting there like, oh, like there's nothing gonna happen in this episode. We thought it's just gonna be like one happy ending, blah blah blah. And then they gave us a little bit at the end to push it on to next season. So I'm okay with doing stuff like that. I just think that this episode really didn't have enough. Like it was just all talking, like, ugh, you know.
It was a big setup episode. It was a big setup.
Yeah, definitely. Because we get to the end and Wendy is in there and she sees the lung, you know, she's observing it. The alien comes out, but Kirsch is actually watching her make this connection with the alien. So he's in the background. And again, that's why I say he's watching everything. Oh, let's see what happens with her and this creature, right? Because he didn't tell nobody the creature got out. Like, you know what I mean? No alarms, blare, nothing. And it's funny too, because when they first put it in the lung in that glass bar, I said, that's not going to keep the alien in there. You know what I mean? Like you knew that. Now, maybe the room they're in is locked off, but that's a huge room. Someone goes in that room, they're fucking dead, right? They're dead. So I found it weird that they kind of did that.
But this is a chance for her to make that connection with this alien, and then to follow her when she says to do something.
Yeah, 100%. So that's where they actually seem to be going with that, because you know it kind of, and I'll show it. I'll show it real quick because it kind of like moves away from her,
like a snake.
Yeah,
like a snake, bro.
But if you look, you can see his arms right here, right?
Yep.
You can see the arms, they're held on like this. Yeah. And the legs are below it. So I think it just looks like that as a baby. But it lets her pet him.
I
You
thought
know
it
what I
was
mean?
gonna. I thought it was gonna.
I was hoping there would have been something like that,
That's
Daddy.
what I
But
thought when she squat down like that. I said, "Yeah, he about to punch her eye out." But it went off.
it did, and so now we're seeing that there's a connection to it, and I think she's gonna be going back in there and talking to it, and I think she's gonna learn the language,
This is
and
gonna be
she's
her
gonna be able
pet.
to translate it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Her pet,
Yes.
her baby, her whatever. Just like Nibs was saying, I'm gonna have a baby. Maybe this is gonna be her baby.
Yeah.
You know what? Now that you said that, that could be the reason why Nibs ends
Yes,
up
he
going
was
to the
saying
other
this.
creature, right? Because like, oh, Wendy has a baby, I'm supposed to have a baby, you know, and the eye had already attacked her. So I think that was foreshadowing. Then
There's a
her touching
connection.
her eye was a foreshadowing, and I think that's what's gonna happen to her.
And she's going to
So,
let it come in.
yeah, I think she's gonna let it the next time because she's already crazy. But the episode does end with
And
that.
Mike talk with his voice to her.
What's that? Oh yeah. We're definitely gonna.
Because the animals don't have vocal cords like we do, so it can't
No,
talk. But I
exactly.
guarantee you, if something that can talk, you'll play some old eerie
Well, I mean,
voice.
That's what
they
I'm
have the
hoping for.
intelligence. They have the
Yeah.
intelligence now. The elite intelligence they had in a sheep. Imagine what they're going to have in a synthetic or a hybrid. In a hybrid.
That's what I'm hoping for. They give it a nice alien type of voice coming out of her. You know what I mean? Yeah, I really hope they do something like that. So that's good. So what do you give the grades? What's your grade for this episode, Mr. Graham?
Oh, to me, this was an A. Because
Okay.
like I said, I only had one part of the show that really just like kind of threw me off. But I like it doesn't necessarily have to be a show, doesn't have to be action. That is good. But if it moves the story along and I'm learning about it, I'm happy with that. And I'm going to bring up this. I know I'm going to get crucified for it. But that's one of the reasons why I love Boba Fett, because it told me the history. Let me finish.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
It told us the history of Boba Fett and what he was doing, because in the movie that we all love, we only saw him like 12 minutes. 12 minutes in the whole movie. But
the
this
Mandalorian
series,
1.5. Okay, a 2.5. Sorry,
or whatever you want to call it. But now we know what he was doing. Now we know what they're trying to do is pushing the story along. I was very interested in it. It made Morrow look even worse, which is supposed to do. It made Curse look more interesting. It made Cavalier look like a complete butthole. Now he got the old man into the whole ensemble. So we got 3 bad guys now for certain that we know. And so I feel like I got skin in the game now. I'm interested. So I thought this was one of the better shows. I'm definitely ready to see next Tuesday what's going to happen in his next episode. If it's going to be a flashback, I'm going to take a page out of Nzo's book. I don't know if I necessarily need a flashback in this movie now, in this particular show, because right now I'm all vested in forward. I don't care. I truly don't care what happened on the ship that we saw in the first episode, because this right here is just as interesting to me. It'd be good if we see something cool, but I don't think we're going to see the other 3 animals. If we see the other 3 creatures, that might be interesting, but I don't think we're going to see the other 3 creatures. So unless you see something that's going to be very, very compelling, I think it's going to be a wasted episode if it's just a flashback of what we saw on the ship, because none of us had any connection to any of those characters on the ship besides Morrow. At least I don't.
I get you. I think if they do the flashback, maybe
not the whole episode. Not the whole episode.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's going to be the whole episode. But
no.
Yeah, I think. What I'm saying is, I think if we get, because they may not show the other creatures for the rest of the season. You're right, Danny. They may not. It may just focus on the eye and the xenomorph. But if in the backstory we get some information or we see something with them, I'd be okay with that, because you can always have a different creature in season 2. You know what I mean? To kill the eyeball, whatever. Now it's the xenomorph and the plant thing. You know what I mean? And then the next season, the plant thing dies and it's the xenomorph or something else. So I think they could do that, but I feel you. I think
the xenomorph is the most dangerous one, because why? is Morrow so fixed on the xenomorph. Like he doesn't care about the other 4. He's fixed completely on that. So why wouldn't he want the eye? Why wouldn't he want the other 3 things? He hasn't even mentioned that to the Indian kid. All he is fixed on is the xenomorph. So xenomorph must be the prize creature out of all of those.
I agree.
I just think that's the one that you can control.
Maybe
you think it's the xenomorph, yeah.
Because you can't control, because it's in an egg. You could take the egg and bring that in because it's still in a controlled environment, whatever. And they
but he's telling him to let he's telling him to let the facehugger get on there. He's gonna fall off, and then when he does that, call him. He said, "Now that person, they're gonna have a bad day for a couple of days, but they'll be okay. Just call me."
Yeah, because they want to take it out before it breaks through the body, right? I think that's the whole plan. They want to take it out before it breaks through the body. That's why it's like they'll have a few days, but they'll be okay. But and I think that has to do with kind of like Brian said, where it's like you want to be able to see if you can control these creatures. And now that Wendy can talk to it, it's like, oh, maybe there is a way to control them. I don't think you can control the eye. It's too intelligent.
But I don't think Morrow knows that though. Morrow doesn't know.
No, Morrow doesn't know that. Nor I think Kush knows that.
He had these 5 specimens for 60-something years. I mean, he was the only one getting up during that time. So I'm just saying he probably does know more about these specimens than everyone else.
Could be 100%. Could absolutely be. What's your grades for it, Brian?
This is a B. You know, I don't hate it. I didn't love it. I think that it could end up being like, well, an A episode because it explains everything. This could be the point where everything changes in going forward. So if that's the case, then you look back at this episode and say, "Oh, that was an A episode. I didn't know how great it was." But as of right now, I don't have that information, so I'm giving it a B.
And you know what? After talking about it, I don't think it's as bad as I thought it was. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, because we're discussing the things. I'm gonna go back and watch it again before Saturday too. But yeah,
Penguin.
I don't think it. What's that?
It's a penguin.
No, Danny. No. You couldn't pay me enough money to watch Penguin.
Oh, but you want me to go watch Twisted Metal, but you won't watch one episode of Penguin.
Because Twisted Metal was fire. That only reason why I tell you to watch 11.
You seem to respect Brian's opinion more than mine.
No, absolutely.
And Brian has said repeatedly,
that
Penguin is good.
I say Brian's full of shit, just like you. I do not respect his opinion just as much as you, Daddy. No.
We just argued before talking about Batman. I was like, Alonzo, you just have bad opinion about all Batman, all things Batman. Terrible opinion.
Wow.
Right before you popped in, he was like, no, Daddy, and I don't care if Brian says it's good. Nope, that don't mean shit. Because Brian is like some trash too. You know what I mean?
Penguin is good, bro. I'm telling you.
No, I'm not doing
it. Watch it. You'll be like, they wasn't
I did. I watched the first episode.
No, you don't watch the whole episode, the whole show.
The whole show.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I can't do it. I know everybody talks about how great it is, but
it's fun.
Even Mike pissed me off when he was like Penguin was good. I was like, Mike, no, we're not supposed to like this shit, right? You don't like the Batman, you don't like the Nolan movies, but now you like the fucking Penguin. Like, what are you doing here? No.
This is totally off the subject, man. I'm gonna go in and out real quick.
Oh, you don't like the Penguin? So no, you don't like.
Jerry Jones is the idiot.
100%.
I don't want to talk about that right now because you know how much I hate Green Bay Packers and the fact that they got Michael Parsons. I'm done. I don't even want to watch the NFL now. I'm done.
I might buy a Green Bay Packers jersey just for that.
I'm gonna find a way to burn it. I'm just gonna send it like a fireball in the air. It's gonna land only on the jersey.
Oh, you know what? Did you know there was an end credit scene to Twisted Metal, Brian?
What?
Yeah. Max, he put in the comments, he was like, "Oh, you guys gotta watch the end credit scene to Twisted Metal." I was like, "Oh shit, there's an end credit scene. I didn't know." I'll show it to you guys backstage. I was like,
let's finish this up because I'm gonna watch this right
now. I just want to say thank you everybody for popping in. Danny, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
You can find me on my channel on Mondays and Fridays. I'm trying to figure something to upload for tomorrow. On the Road to Wisdom. Also, you can find me on my new channel called The Way I See It. Also, you can find me on Wednesday nights on the Hangout, sometime on OOC. 3 Mondays out of the month. You can find me with Nzo and Chris Knight on Chaos Central channel. And on Sundays at 8 p.m., you can find me on Storms Live. So here, there, a little bit everywhere.
Absolutely. Thank you to the new sub that I just got. I appreciate it. Brian, tell the people where they can find you, sir.
Yeah, 1/3 of Spoiler Kings. We're on live Monday, Thursdays, and Saturday nights, 9:30. I'm with Anzo. Also, you see Thursday, Friday. We're here on Tuesday, especially when From comes back. Let's go From. That's why I'm wearing my From shirt, man. I don't know if y'all got my From shirt going on.
I'm saving mine for the first episode, bro. You better believe that From shirt is coming up on the first episode. Danny's like, you see, Danny? That's a good show you gotta watch.
But check us Saturday, 9 Eastern, 10 Central. We're going to be on The Rewind. Is our new show. They're going to have Saturday mornings talking about things, DC, Marvel, anything that comes up. We're going to be talking about all those things. So yeah, check us out. Make sure.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fun time. Thank you, everybody, for popping in. Much appreciated. Tomorrow night will be the Peacemaker breakdown. So that's episode 2 of that. Every time I say Peacemaker, Danny, don't stop laugh, bro. Peacemaker it isn't bad, Daddy. It isn't bad. It isn't bad. I hope it gets better because the first episode was kind of but I hope it gets better. I like Peacemaker. I like the first season. You know what I mean? So I
definitely find out because I'm gonna watch that in like 2 seconds.
Absolutely, that is getting watched. I'm not sure because 2K26 comes out tonight. I hope so at maybe midnight. So I might stream that as well because I'm going to be playing it for sure. So make sure to check out for that. But like Brian said, I think make sure to come check us out Saturday morning, 10 EST for the Rewind. I think we got some good stuff planned on there, and I think it should be a good show. So
it's going to be on your channel, Anzo?
We're going to broadcast it on both channels, but... Yeah, but the first week is going to be my channel. Second week is going to be his channel. And then we're going to switch up like that. Yeah, but still going to be broadcast on both channels. So, absolutely, guys. So thank you guys for coming in. Make sure to sub to Danny. Make sure to sub to Brian the Grizzly and the Spoiler Kings, because if you think we do a lot, they do a lot over there too as well. Trust me on that.
Oh, yes. A lot for a long time.
Facts.
And that's why we got to end the show, because I got to go do that now.
Yeah, we are outie, guys. Peace, love, and hair grease, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.